All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Two Powerlifters in a Car Getting Coffee. Welcome to the first episode of the batch of episodes we're recording for Nats. So for this month's episode, we have Clifton Foe. So Clifton, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, my name is Clifton Foe. I guess most people know me as a powerlifter in the 66 kilo class. I've been competing since, 2013. So it's been like 13-ish years. Went to Worlds a few times as a junior, took a break for, a bunch of health injury type of stuff, and then clawed my way back to the sport. And yeah, here I am at 2026 Nationals in St. John's.
Yeah, so how was the travel?
I think we got lucky. Like, we were supposed to book Air Canada, and we saw like the flight was pretty cheap over Christmas, but I didn't really want to book something during Christmas. I was just like, we'll just wait. So we ended up booking with Porter, which went through Ottawa, and we had some delays, but we flew to Ottawa, Halifax, and then we made it to St. John's. So I think half the country's still stuck in Toronto as we speak.
Yeah, it seems like as of this morning, it seems like a lot of lifters are still stuck, which is, it's brutal. And I mean, it's trying to come to Newfoundland this time of year is just awful.
Yeah, it's very, very reminiscent of Saguenay. Do you know Saguenay?
No.
So Nationals in 2017 was in Saguenay in Quebec. So we had to fly to Quebec City and then take like a 2 or 3 hour bus ride up to Saguenay, the small town. But the issue was there was this huge storm, so half the people didn't even make it. I remember waiting at the airport for my friend's dad because he was going to come to the trip. And 12 hours later, we get a call, and it's like, hey, I'm still in Edmonton. My flight got reversed. I'm not going to make it. So, and we were trying to find like a hotel to go to. It was just, it was a nightmare because all the roads were closed from all the snow. But it kind of worked out. We made it on time eventually. And my once full Airbnb was completely empty. But I found a bunch of strangers to come in, so that was a good time.
Perfect. So normally this is the point in the podcast where I'd ask about going for coffee, but you've said you don't like coffee. Lucas also told me that ahead of time. But you do have a request of where to go.
Yes.
So where are we going, Clifton?
I have been known to be a hot dog man now of all sorts, and I suppose we can get into that. But we could go to Costco and grab a hot dog.
You gonna show them the shirt?
Oh, yes. I got this shirt. It says, I got that dog in me. I got it for my birthday. And it's funny, actually, 2 of my friends both got me this shirt. So, when I used to go to nationals like this, people will come up to me and be like, hey, Clifton, how much you gonna deadlift, right? But ever since last nationals, people come up to me and just say, hey, Clifton, how many hot dogs have you ate?
So how did it start?
I think I just posted hot dogs on my Instagram when I went to Costco, and truthfully speaking, it's because it's $1.50.
Yeah.
Like, how can you beat $1.50, right? And then one thing turned to another, and then I think I solidified it when I decided to have 30 hot dogs on my 30th birthday.
Oh my God.
And I didn't have it all. I just bought 30 hot dogs.
Okay.
But everyone at Costco was like, bring out the phones. Like, oh, you're gonna eat those? You're gonna eat those? I'm like, no, man. I'm just,
Professional eater in his pastime.
No, I mean, I had some binging disorders, but I wouldn't call that professional eating. So, yeah. But I'm down to go anywhere. If you need a new coffee and stuff.
Yeah, I can. There's a Tim's right next to Costco, so we can grab a hot dog and a coffee.
Yeah. All right.
So is this your first time in Newfoundland?
It is. And with all the stuff that has happened, like with all that Westerns, Easterns, Nationals moving and such, this is actually my first Nationals since 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was when I was a junior. So I haven't actually been to Nationals as an open, really. I went to 2019 in Ottawa, but I was I was in school in Toronto at the time, so I decided to go spectate. So yeah, but never been to St. John's, never been to Newfoundland. It's been positive so far.
Yeah, I was gonna say, welcome.
Nice place. Yeah.
I can assure you, it's almost never this warm. Earlier the week, it was like -6.
Yeah, we were looking at the weather while deciding what to pack here, and I mean, it's a little wet and windy, but it's nice.
Yeah, and I mean, like I sent you pictures on Instagram of what it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing Lucas's story. It was like, welcome to Newfoundland, and it's just him, and it's like, safety vest, jumping.
Yeah, so I live in the same area as Lucas, so like we were both buried under like 180 centimeters of snow.
Yeah, that's crazy. We got a lot of snow in Alberta too, but 180 centimeters, nowhere near that.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I guess, yeah, you being from Alberta, you're used to the cold anyway, because I know we went for a concert in Edmonton 2 years ago, and it was in November, and I was like, this is cold, but it's weird. It's a different cold than it is here. It
is. Like, I live in Toronto 4 years because I went to Cairo school there, right? The humidity, the way I've heard it described is, it's like the wind pierces your bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, in Alberta, I'll be perfectly fine, but here, or in any type of humidity, if you have any part of your body that's even exposed a little bit, it's like,
yeah, the wind will find a way to cut through it.
Yeah. So,
and like we get some pretty wild winds here, but yeah. So what got you into powerlifting?
So I was always kind of into fitness and health. When I was really young, I had the earliest story of this would be maybe in like grade 7. We'd go to gym class and we had this thing called 20 and 20. So after you get out of the locker room, you have to do 20 push-ups and 20 sit-ups. A lot of my friends would be like, 1, 2, 20, I'm done. I was like, no, I gotta do all 20. And then we had like this, not fitness module, but we went to the fitness center there, and I kind of enjoyed it. I like to be active overall, whether it was running, rock climbing, badminton, and all that. It wasn't until I went to university, the University of Alberta Powerlifting Association at the U of A. We had this room where we would train. It was called W95. And during my orientation, I remember walking in there, and I met this guy, and he's like, his name was Joey Joseph. He said, I'm an Olympic weightlifter. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I left telling all my friends, I just met an Olympian. I had no idea what the heck is going on. I ended up training more and more in that room because I met a lot of friends there. And instead of like going in, training on headphones, I would not even bring my headphones and just, chat, lift, that type of stuff. And one thing led to another, and one of my friends was like, hey, I wanna sign up for Power Surge, one of our local meets. And he said, oh, it'd be cool to tell my kid if I lifted in, 5-10 years or whatever, when he's older. And I kind of took that and ran with it. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should compete too. So basically training in that room, only doing powerlifting style movements because I didn't want to go to the other gym. I wanted to stay in that gym, to signing up for my first meet. And then I did Power Surge. It went really well. I met a bunch of like other Asian kids that were just like anime and Pokemon and all that stuff. It was a really fun meet. They had walk-up music, so people could choose what kind of songs they wanted as they went up for the lifting. You heard everything from like Carly Rae Jepsen to a Darth Vader theme to the Super Saiyan theme, right? And it wasn't really what I expected, but it was really fun. And I think after I finished the meet, I looked back and I was like, I think I'm actually kind of happy right now. And then that's when it kind of gravitated to, maybe I should do more of this. And then I signed up for provs, did provs. That didn't go very well. I was very sick and had some back issues very early on. I was always dealing with someone when I was growing up. And then I actually skipped out on 2015 Nats. I think that might have been in PEI. I don't quite remember. But then after that, I went to 2016 in Regina. And that was probably the competition where I was like, oh shit, I'm kind of good at this. Maybe I should fully commit into this, right? And then I kind of made the conscious decision to not put all my eggs in one basket, but kind of do focus more on powerlifting, because I was still very much like, I wanted to rock climb as much as I wanted to lift, as much as I wanted to play badminton. Like I just liked being active. But the sport just kind of drew me, and I think I'm still here because of all the, like, I think the community keeps me here. Like I might not even lift much this nationals, but I'm still happy to be here.
Yeah.
And spend a ton of money to be here. So.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't do a whole lot of traveling in the country because, and I'm sure as you've seen, just getting to or from this island costs more than like half the other legs of the travel.
Yes.
Like just getting off of Newfoundland or getting into Newfoundland is so expensive.
You know what kills me? And I was telling my friends this as I was flying. I'm like, I am traveling this long and paying this much money when I could be in Japan for a lot cheaper.
Oh, absolutely.
And the same amount.
Absolutely, man. I think when we flew, the last time we flew, I think just getting to Halifax alone was like $500.
Canadian travel has a lot left to be desired. You know?
Yeah.
Like I was talking to some people, they flew from Calgary to St. John's direct. Apparently WestJet has a flight twice in a week or something, I just found out. And it was only 5.5 hours. That sounds pretty good. What we did not sound pretty good. Yeah. But, I mean, we made it. Like the bar of Canadian travel now is, did you make it?
Did you make it when you were supposed to be there?
Yes, around the time you were supposed to be there. Like the expectation has been so low. And I mean, some things are outside their control, but I mean, I don't run airlines, but I think everyone can agree that things can be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad just trying to, and I mean, plenty of guests who've been on the podcast have said the same thing. It's pretty bad having to deal with the travel of getting out of Newfoundland when, like, the cost and time wise, once you're traveling then on the rest of the country isn't anywhere near as bad. Yeah. And it's like you said, you could fly to Japan for the same price.
Yep. Haven't even left the country, but flew an entire day. The time zone shift is kind of wonky too.
Yeah, and then flying in on daylight savings too, on top of everything else.
But to be honest, I don't find any of that really like bugs me as much. I've become a lot more flexible and adaptable with, we call it meet day conditions and such.
Yeah.
Like I would prefer to be in the room where everything is totally off and sucks because I'm like, I'll be fine. But if it hurts competitors, it's like, well, you know, that's your kind of problem. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you can handle it, and you just bank on somebody else not being able to.
Yeah.
Man, rain decided to pick up the second we hit the highway. I'm really glad we're trying out the new mics.
Do you get rain often here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like it'll be, give it an hour, and the sun will probably be out. The weather here is just so unpredictable.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, with all the snow we've had, we kind of need the rain. So with traveling and with meet day conditions, how do you find traveling for meets holds up versus like, say, a meet within the province or a meet within a shorter distance? Do you find it takes a bigger toll on you?
So the way, I feel like I'm the worst person to ask because the way I like to see things, the more you can stack the chips on your end, the more you can stack things that can potentially improve your performance, the better off you'll be. Like, you'll always bet on the horse that has better sleep, better recovery, doesn't have as much stress, doesn't have to travel as far, right? So I feel like on paper I would say, yeah, the meet in your backyard is probably going to be a lot better for kind of a higher performance, a higher ceiling than traveling halfway across the world for that. But I think it's not always that clear, and the reason why I can't really attest to that is my best meets, like my best meet at the World Games, I flew, 14 hours to Chengdu. I had 5 weeks to kind of think about the prep because I just got in as a reserve. I couldn't really put a peak together because my body was really sore from, I don't even know what. So I just kind of showed up and like, I had the best meet of my life. And I'm trying to like as a coach, I'm trying to be like, okay, what did I do to make this better? But it's not, I don't really have like a concrete answer other than I felt good, I was healthy, I was having a good time, and I was able to put like the performance that I wanted together. So I definitely think there is more stress to all that, the travel and whatnot. I think in some ways it actually helps me almost like prepare and get in the groove of, hey, I'm competing soon. Like that week leading up to something, you're water loading, you're going to like piss the whole time. It's almost like the competition has already started, like you're part of that. So like I have a couple meets at 74 where I'm not doing that now, and it still kind of feels kind of weird. Like I had breakfast this morning and I probably had like a kilo of food.
Complimentary hotel breakfast?
Not like complimentary, you gotta pay for it, but.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they have these vouchers that was like, I think instead of $30, it's $20, so it's not bad. I ended up getting a free voucher because they kind of like messed up my hotel thing. I spent like 2 hours last night when I got in trying to figure it out. It was very annoying.
Great.
Yeah, it's still not figured out, but hopefully on checkout everything's fine. That's all I can kind of bank on. So yeah, long way of answering your question, but I definitely think there's a difference, but based on the data, I can't say there's a difference for me.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
There is a difference that doesn't affect you.
Yes. And I don't know, like things can change so much, like maybe it will affect me, right? But based on like right now, I think that's how I can answer that.
Yeah, that makes sense. But speaking of, you mentioned World Games. You want to talk the road of getting to World Games?
Oh, so truthfully speaking, I didn't even know about the World Games. Like most people, what's the World Games? Even now, a lot of people, you're probably like, what's the World Games? But when I when I returned in 2024 Westerns, and I had got the total to go to Worlds that year. I went to Worlds in Lithuania. And that was when the IPF started talking about, hey, Classic is going to be in World Games this year, Classic Powerlifting, because traditionally it's only equipped lifting. And to qualify, you have to get top 3. When you get top 3 at Worlds for a World Games qualifying year, so 2024 for 2025, you will automatically be invited to go to the World Games. I did not place top 3. I absolutely sucked. So how did I get in? Well, a bunch of kind of geopolitical factors and whatnot, because there's also wild card spots, and the IPF also dictates a certain amount of, like every country can only send X amount of athletes. So if you have the states like sweep the podium, they can only send 2 per kind of weight class, and the weight classes are kind of stuck together. So lightweight is like 59 and 66 for men's, middleweight 74 and 83, and so on and so forth. So there's only like 4 classes, and they're grouped by, they're scored by geo points essentially. So we got contacted by Linda, the kind of CPU secretary for this stuff, and Linda had said, hey, you guys are able to be on a reserve for the World Games. Like, do you want to do that? And after doing Lithuania, I kind of was like, man, it'd be cool to go to the World Games. This seems cool. So I kind of made it a goal. So I'm like, yeah, why not? Put me on the reserve. So me, Lucas, Walter on the men's side were on reserves, and people kind of started dropping out for anywhere from money to not wanting to drop down a weight class again to I don't want to go to China because US-China tensions, a lot of different stuff. And I mean, people drop out for many reasons. It is what it is. So Lucas ended up getting in. I was talking to Lucas, and Lucas said, hey, maybe you'll get in. Maybe like, Walter and stuff will get in too. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. So in the back of my head, I was already kind of prepping for Equip Worlds in Romania, because that was what I was thinking. But I was kind of holding off, like training raw a little bit longer just to build that base, and also potentially, hey, maybe if I get in the World Games, I would do it. So Lucas got in, and then all of a sudden Walter got in, and then I was like, hey, maybe you'll get in. And I remember very vividly, the deadline was like July 21st or something. It's like, and I had made a pose. Well, I guess I'm not getting in the World Games because the deadline's passed. It's time to put on the suit, focus in Romania. I get a message like right after, and they're like, hey, you got in. I'm like, what? And like, I remember they were telling me, I think it was Renee or something, but they were telling me, hey, Clifton just made a post that he's not getting in, but he just got in. We got to tell him right now. So that's how that happened. So I had like a 5-week turnaround to get to the World Games. There's a whole bunch of stuff to do. You had to go to the embassy to actually get your visa to go to China. And I think now they kind of changed that. Like, at least for this year, you can actually go to China without a visa. With all the, I think Carney met with the Chinese president or something, you know, they have some agreements going on. Mm-hmm. So you have to get that done. Everything is actually, you don't book anything, everything's like booked for you. They actually tell you the days that you have to stay and the days that you have to leave, because you're basically rooming with other people. And there were some funky rooming situations allegedly that never came to fruition because people dropped out. So that's kind of how we ended up at the World Games as a reserve lifter. So me, Lucas, and Walter actually have a group chat called The Reserves. No, I was joking. We should make a podcast called The Reserves. So yeah, it was a really good time. I was happy that we were all able to go. The actual event itself was crazy, but
yeah, from the video you posted, like, it just parades and like the venue that it was held in and just the opening and like closing ceremonies and stuff, it looked insane.
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it's, if you're looking for like the Olympics is a large multi-sport event, right? This is a large multi-sport event for sports not in the Olympics. Yeah. So it's kind of the same concept, same organization and event, and just like meets locally or provincially, nationally, internationally, it really depends on the meet directors. It depends on, like, the meet directors can make it as big or as small as they want. I remember doing all these different meets as a junior, and I would kind of get like nothing from it, and then I looked at, not nothing, but there wasn't anything other than like, hey, here's your whatever bulk ordered medal that they got from their supplier, right? Or whatever trophy and whatnot. But then I started seeing these local meets or provincial meets. They gave away like free barbells and all this stuff. Like, man, I shouldn't be doing these meets. Like, you got such cool stuff. But that's all a reflection of
who's putting it on.
Yes, like what the meet director wants to do, like who they're going to get to sponsor the event. So, and everyone will tell you this. The reason why World Games that we went to was so cool is because it was in China.
Yeah,
it's a state-sponsored sport, right? So there's so much more funding. Like, there's so much more volunteers. We were just moving an Eleiko rack today, like downstairs for the training room. If you were in China, they would have had 20 people doing it. like that's just the difference there.
Yeah.
Whereas we're struggling with just the three of us, but we made it. We
managed to make it work.
Didn't break anything.
But yeah, you're going to something like that where it's, like you said, it's state sponsoring. You have people, just so many people putting in the work, and like you come to like our nationals, and like no fault of the meet directors, and it's just like how all the meets always end up. Like, you have lifters who are volunteering to spot and load at our meets, and like you said, we were moving a rack. I'm not lifting, but you're lifting, and we moved a whole Eleiko rack down over a flight of stairs.
Yeah, it's not like to fault anyone, right? It's different circumstances, right? If you have more volunteers, more power, more money, more funding behind you, yeah, you can always put on a greater event. So, I mean, everyone's kind of saying the 2029 World Games in Germany will not be as good, which is probably fair. I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but it won't be China. Mm-hmm. Or it won't be events in places like China that are state sponsored. So, but yeah, no, it was a time. I mean, I could talk about it forever, because every time I think about it, it's it kind of gives me the chills. It's was such a cool event, but I think that was where I really realized, like, heck, I really like this powerlifting stuff, and I don't think I'm gonna go away. Because when you kind of like something, it's going good, it's very easy for you to continue it, right? Everyone has a good training session, like, yeah, I can't wait for the next one. It's those days where everything absolutely sucks that really make you go like, man, do I even want to do this? But going to World Games generally, like with the team that we had, because there was such a nice team atmosphere there with our fellow Canadians, it was something very special that I hold dear to my heart. And it makes me very blessed to still be doing that and to have the opportunity and to try to get there again, like have those experiences again.
And I'm assuming Classic is still back again for the next one, or have they made
probably? Everyone was saying like, we're not putting on a good show, half the people dropped out, they're not going to keep Classic Powerlifting. I don't know. I would assume so. And I think one of the biggest things why I would assume so, they had this thing where every day they would choose an athlete of the day. And apparently Jurens Kangamu, anyways, Jurens won athlete of the day on one of the days that of the sporting events out of like thousands and thousands of athletes. And then they take them to like the actual, I think, main venue by the airport, and there's like parades and stuff. He got a really expensive watch. So I don't know. I feel like from a spectator viewpoint, if that is popular enough to win something like that, why wouldn't they bring it back?
That makes sense,
right?
Yeah.
Unless the IPF doesn't want it back. But the way how things are going now, like if we want to talk money and how money fuels events and whatnot, it's all Classic Powerlifting right now. Like everything money-wise for powerlifting is in Classic. No question about that. So
except the money being spent by lifters.
Yeah. I mean,
from what I've heard, and this is just what I've heard, like equipment, like for equipped, can be real pricey.
Yes, very pricey. Yeah, honestly, it's not cheap. None of this is really cheap. If you want to compare it to playing hockey and stuff, I'm sure that stuff can be very expensive too, right? But
yeah. On the surface, powerlifting doesn't look like an expensive sport.
And it doesn't have to be, right? I did my first meet with basically nothing. And IPF approved stuff wasn't as big then, so I used like this old like Inzer singlet and whatnot. But it has changed quite a bit. At my first nationals, I actually, because you needed approved equipment, I borrowed someone's knee sleeves. I borrowed someone's singlet. I borrowed someone's belt.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of people's first meets go. It wasn't my first, it was actually my third meet, but like my last competition, I went out with a borrowed belt. One of the guys is borrowing my wrist wraps for nationals this week, and like, it's just kind of the community of powerlifting. Everybody will be like, here, use this.
Yeah, if you have a really good group, it definitely, I think that's what introduces a lot of people to sport. It's what introduces a lot of people to a lot of their hobbies, right? How do you find out about what you did? Oh, my friend, or I went to this place. And I can definitely say, if it wasn't for the people I met, I would not be here right now. I would probably not be in a lot of, my last 10 years would have looked very different, let's put it that way. Yeah. For better or worse, I don't know, couldn't say.
But yeah, and powerlifting, it's just one of those sports that it has that such good community that like once they like pull you in, it's like, all right, I want to stay here. All right, now
it's pretty busy.
We gotta find parking.
Oh, is this the only Costco in St. John's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only Costco on the island.
Oh. I'm very curious what this Costco has.
So we're gonna do a podcast first and just do a little Costco trip.
All right.
So like I said, I've had other episodes where we've stopped before and like I've gone in and like we've just, like stopped into the gym and just chatted with people, but this is the first one where we'll take the camera with us.
Okay.
Clifton and Lenny in Costco.
In the Costco.
All right.
Rotisserie.
Yeah, so this is our Costco.
It looks exactly the same, I tell you. Except I think you have 19% tax here. Or do you,
15.
15?
Yeah.
Do you have tax on food?
Some, but not most.
Oh, okay, I see. Meal prep. We got a coach.
All right. So, again, this is a first for the podcast. Just
We're back.
mid-podcast mukbang.
We got our six-pack.
Clifton's meal prep for the week.
The question is, are you a Polish or a beef man?
And beef.
Beef.
Yeah.
They're actually both all beef, but I think the Polish just has like some of these other spices.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't think it's made of Polish people.
No.
So, what started first for you? Was it equipped or was it raw?
Definitely raw. And I think that's like, if you're in the era where raw was a thing, you would start raw. Even if you're equipped, you start raw. You just don't compete raw because it wasn't a thing. But I think even a lot of equipped lifters back then some would deadlift raw because it would feel better for them. So definitely started raw. I actually wanted to get into equipped quite early. Like I got my suits from Ray and Ryan at Inner Strength back in like 2017, 2016. And I actually brought them with me to Belarus. I had them in a warm-up room after I had competed. I brought it and I remember very vividly people lifting me up and hanging me up and me trying to get in the suit, and I had no idea what I was doing, and it was way harder than raw.
Yeah.
So I didn't end up actually doing equipped until recently because I was a little bit focused on raw, and then eventually, like with some injuries, and I got in a car accident where I had a concussion. There's no way, like even just a normal holding my breath hurt, there's no way I'm jacking myself in a suit with all that pressure. But once I started returning to powerlifting in like 2022, that's when I kind of wanted to go do equipped. And I didn't actually get the push until my partner's dad actually passed away suddenly. So that made me go like, oh shit, like life's short. I've been saying I want to do equipped for how long now? Why not just do it?
Makes sense.
And then sign up for my first meet. And now I'm in that weird place where I want to do both. And it's actually really hard to do both. I'm trying to be like Jeff Butt or Ray Astin that do both. But I feel like Jeff Butt is in his own category because he does both. And he...
And we'll PR both.
Yes. And so I'm like, how is this man? And you know, is he M2 now?
I think.
Yeah. I'm like, how is this man doing what he does? Or he might be M1 still, I don't know. How is this man doing what he does? And I think one of the biggest differences right now in raw lifting, unless you're like Austin Perkins, if you're 66, you're basically a 74 walking around, and you cut down super hard, especially in the lower weight classes. If you're 59, even more so, you're like 64, 65 kilos, and you cut down. In equipped, you can't really do that. Like you can, but you need completely different suits. Everything's gonna fit differently. It's just not as common. And then also, I think you get a little bit more from actually having a little bit more fat mass on your body with the suit versus being super lean. So in like raw, I don't know how much of that stands true, but it's kind of like what I've heard. So there's kind of that dichotomy, because for me it's like I still want to do raw lifting, and I still have goals, and I really want to be better at raw lifting. And I feel like one of those pathways is, you know, trying to get bigger and growing, which I did try this time, and then I mean that was kind of frustrating. But at the same time though, if I want to kind of be better equipped, it's also better for me to be closer to weight class and just get more proficient, better at the skill in the gear, and be able to push that. So yeah. Whoa! Is your guys' bun always like this?
Yeah.
Wow. See, our buns have the sesame seeds in there.
Oh, no, we don't get stuff that fancy here.
Interesting. Man, I'm gonna have to research for hours on this. Like, I kid you not, I'm gonna
rabbit hole.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna dig into this. But
so, which would you say you prefer?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'll answer this in a slightly different way. I asked the same question to Ryan Fowler. You know Ryan Fowler?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I asked him at Worlds, I'm like, which one do you prefer? And he said, equipped. No question. And when I asked him why, he says there's much more of a team atmosphere, right? There's much more of kind of a group that comes together that actually has to, it's a team sport, right? We don't really get that in Raw, and I think there's nothing like an equipped warm-up room. So I feel like I prefer the equipped atmosphere because there's not a lot of money involved too in equipped. It's a little different. Like, everyone at Equipped World is there because for the love of the sport. Like, no one's there to make a living, no one's there to kind of win great grand prizes and whatnot. And I think for a lot of people, they kind of sense that, like, there's not as much stress or pressure there from a kind of monetary competitive standpoint. But for my own kind of like performance, I have both goals in Raw and Equipped that I want to do, and they're both equally important to me. But from a pure like vibes, atmosphere standpoint, I would agree that Equipped is just different, and Raw doesn't compare to that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've heard that from many people who've done both, and I've asked like the question too. It's, you can't beat the atmosphere of Equipped. Just the camaraderie, the teamwork, the overall vibes in the warm-up rooms.
Yeah. It's they say it takes a village, right? I know Rhea made the analogy, Equipped is like pole vaulting, whereas Raw is like high jump, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lot more technical, the ceiling's a lot higher. I actually thought of an analogy the other day that I think is that I like. I haven't quite fleshed it out, and this is the first time I'm saying it out loud, so hopefully it makes sense. Are you into racing or race cars or anything like that?
Vaguely.
Okay, so in my eyes, I think Raw lifting is like drag racing, okay? You have your car has a certain amount of horsepower. It's kind of already predetermined who would kind of win the drag race in a sense, but you still gotta perform, lots can happen, your car could break down, you could veer off, you could miss a shift, whatever. But you're lined up at the track and 3, 2, 1, go. Maybe you have a poor start, whatever it is. But kind of pretty straightforward. That's Raw lifting. And I see Equipped lifting more like Formula 1, where you got the whole team always working on the car. You have to do changes. Your team has to be super quick on the changes. They have to change the tires. They have to do the pit stop accurately. If they do the pit stop wrong or something messes up, that could cost you the race. That could cost you your position and all that. There's a lot of different fine-tuned variables. F1 drivers will be adjusting their brake bias, their diff, all that stuff as they're driving. Tires too warm, tires too hot. You're on intercoms, like all that stuff. So there's a huge thing, and then in the background you're tuning your car, you're doing that stuff, just like how you're taking your suit in, and you know what I mean. So that's kind of like an analogy that I've kind of fleshed out.
I absolutely get the, because you got your guys rolling knee wraps. You got somebody making sure your hands are chopped.
And I ate so much at breakfast, I'm actually like not even hungry. I'm just like, I gotta at least eat this hot dog. Everyone's gonna be like, Clifton bought hot dogs and he's not even eating them.
Clifton's a fake.
And someone's probably gonna be like, Clifton went through this whole 2-hour podcast and didn't even finish a hot dog. Anyways, whereas like, don't get me wrong, in drag racing, you still have time where, you you're building on your car and you're fixing stuff, tinkering stuff, maybe going to the shop, maybe getting opinions and such like that. But there's not really much you can do on that day to make a difference. There's not really much fine tuning that you're gonna do in between. Like maybe some stuff your tire person wants. There's still some stuff you can do, just not as much. Whereas in F1 there's like a world of tuning and such. And this is very surface level. Like if you go to real, like I've seen some crazy drag racing ones where they literally rebuild the engine between every like drag race. So that's kind of different. I'm not really talking about that. I'm talking like if you took your car to like the strip with someone else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean.
But yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense as a way to compare the two.
And I don't say it to say like one's better than the other. It's just they're very similar but very different.
Yeah, they're about as far apart as you could get while staying within the same sport.
Yeah, that's a way to put it. And it is interesting because now like you're starting to get into some raw lifters are stronger than equipped, right?
Yeah, people like Jesus.
And what if
a monster?
What if some raw lifters got into some equipment? And how far could these limits be pushed? The standards have changed so much. It's honestly wild.
And I think that's the fun part of powerlifting. And it goes for ollie lifting and it goes for strongman, because they're all the strength sports in general. It's just the amazement factor of pushing the human limit, of seeing what you can get. I mobile ordered my coffee to that Tim's in Galway and I completely forgot about it.
Oh, well, I guess we gotta go back.
Dude, how did I manage to do that? Where's the next spot I can turn around? Up ahead. Okay.
You want me to check?
No, I'm good. I just had to remember where we were on the highway. I mobile ordered that and then was like, all right.
Yeah, I was wondering, are we going to Timmy's?
Yeah.
Hey, you're just, you were so captivated by my analogy.
Dude.
So I guess it's a good one.
You wrapped me in. In case you couldn't tell, I haven't had my coffee.
Yeah, no, it's, for me, it's always been like a personal journey of the sense of, I just wanted to get stronger. I wanted to PR this lift. I wanted to see XYZ. And to be honest, I don't think I was much of like a competitor growing up. Like even in like track and field and stuff, I wanted to best my own time, but I was never like, I want to beat the guy next to me. And I know that's like very different with how things are kind of seen nowadays. Like there's a lot of people that, they want to get into those battles, they want their ops, and I think it's great because it rises the standard when people like fight back and forth. Like just look at Britt and Sunita, right? And how that's been great. So I'm not like saying that's not good, but my headspace has always been, I want to beat myself. I want to get these numbers. And for me, I see people like Chell, I'm like, man, he just did 782, he pulled 325. And I see that as inspiration of, well, why can't I do that? The dude's like 37, I'm 31 now. If I keep cracking at this for 6 years, who knows where I'll end up,
Who knows what you
right?
can do, yeah.
And I have grown to value the competitive nature of sport a lot more now when I'm older. Like, if there's other people in my weight class, yeah, you're gonna play to beat them, you're gonna play to win and such, but it's not like a motivating factor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, I don't know if you've seen the reel he posted like last week, but it goes back to the reel that like Mally posted the other day, where it's just like, you gotta do it for the love of the game at some point. Like, and the love of the game, again, like you said, for you, and the same for me, it just comes from the getting better personally. It's the personal journey of the lift, just as much as it is the competitive journey.
Yeah, and a lot of times I remember asking myself the question, what if like this is it. I remember I listened to the Lucas Wiseman one that you had when he was on, and he was like, what if that squat gold was it? What if like, what if that's the end of my career and stuff? I had a lot of questions of not so much what if it was it, but what if I never PR again? What if this is the maximum amount of weight I could ever lift? Am I still gonna powerlift? Am I still gonna do it? And stuff. But I think after World Games, I can genuinely say that whether I'm at the top of my game, whether I'm making progress, whether I'm not, I feel like powerlifting has been such a pillar of who I am that it's my thing. Like, and I don't think it's gonna go away, even if, like, I'm here. I'm not in top shape at all. I'm probably not even competing tomorrow, right? But I'm still here, and I'm not like regretting that I'm here. I'm glad that I'm here. So it's interesting. It's interesting seeing some comments I get when I talk about like, because for me, I just like to be transparent with my posts and how I'm feeling, right? So I don't post about, hey, like this hurts or I'm feeling this way because I'm looking for anything. It's almost like a personal journal, and I found sometimes some people take a lot of value from someone sharing stuff like that, and if it helps them get anything out of it, then I feel like it's worth it. And that's why I tend to share, or try anyways to share some stuff. And I think early on that was from this YouTuber I used to watch when I was younger. I don't know if you know Ice One Cube.
It's not ringing any bells.
Yeah, it's might have been before your time, but yeah. So what was I gonna say? Anyways, yeah, I don't even know. My brain just went mush.
But yeah, I completely get the whole just using Instagram almost as just like this journal of like your personal journey, and just like keeping things transparent, because you do, like, everybody will have like people who are just seeing stuff on their Instagram, and like a lot of people will think to themselves like, oh, this happened to me, I'm done. But then they'll see other people posting like, yeah, I'm beat up and I'm still going.
Yeah, I think after everything I've been through in this sport, and just like honestly, I think a lot of it as I get older, it's just life, man. Like, it's just kind of how some things go. Like, things can change so quickly and on a whim. Like when Cho dropped to 66, did you see why he dropped to 66?
No.
He watched F1.
Like the movie?
He watched F1 the movie, and then he's like, oh, well, you know, if these old guys can still do it, maybe I can still do it, right? So then it was motivating, and it just made me... Have you seen Spider-Man Across the Multiverse?
Yes.
Yeah. You know how they talk about canon events?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many canon events in our life that can be so small, like watching F1. Right? Or someone could listen to this podcast and that's their canon event to, oh, now I'm going to do this. Or you say hi to this guy in the gym and that's their canon event, oh, they're going to powerlift now, right? So I find it can switch so much, so quickly for so many different people that I've almost learned to, like, I don't hold anything too strongly in a way. X person is going to compete as, like, right now, Austin Perkins. Let's just say Austin Perkins, 74 kilos. He's gonna dominate, do all this. But then what if suddenly he just decides he's done?
Yeah.
Or what if suddenly he's like, I'm gonna go 93? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And it could just happen. And that's
any
it.
little thing like that could just... Yeah. And it could be as simple as it almost kind of comes back to the whole concept of the butterfly effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, of just like saying hi to one person in the gym and now all of a sudden they power lift. Like, I've been, especially where the NLPA is so small, a lot of the times our provincials is just a walk-on. Like, you don't even have to qualify for provincials just because we don't have enough people or time to have enough meets. And like, you'll have people who just show up for something to do. And we said earlier, it's all like borrowed equipment, and they're just showing up, and then they decide, oh, I want to stick with this, or they never see it again, or they go to Junior Worlds. Like,
Yeah.
this is why I don't mobile order coffees, because I have a tendency to just forget I did.
I feel like as soon as I start talking about something, they're going to be like, hi.
The joys of drive-thrus.
I have a funny story about the drive-thru. It was in Saguenay. There was not much to eat around there. And our banquet had like no food.
Hi, what can I get for you?
Hi, I got a mobile order there for Leonard.
Mobile order for
Leonard.
what name?
Leonard was the name.
Oh, you place it on the counter, so that's a large dark roast with 2 milk cheese sweetener.
Yeah.
Alright, you can grab up, please.
Oh, oops. Apparently I ordered it.
Counter. Okay.
My bad.
But yeah, I remember Bryce caught truck trying to order food through like a McDonald's or Timmy's drive-thru, but we didn't have a car, so he was just trying, and they wouldn't serve him.
This was in where? Quebec?
Yeah, that was a wild time. Everyone was really drunk. Jeff Butt actually kept poaching me.
Thank you.
He kept asking me, actually he didn't ask me, he'd be like, he kept saying, I can guarantee you 15 kilos. Because he wanted to coach me. That was funny.
Little did you know that was an invitation then to get coached by the future CAMPO president.
I was coached by him. At the time, he was working with John Smart as well. And it was an interesting experience. I think he's changed a lot though, because now he's with TSG, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot of people. Seems like TSG is coming up more and more often. That a lot of people are starting to go there for their coaching.
Yeah, no, coaching has definitely changed a lot. I mean, for better and worse, but it is what it is.
Because you coach, right?
Yeah. Not too much. Like, I don't really advertise. I've coached quite a few people over my career. Like right now, I have like maybe 2 people right now. Most of my time is spent like, I'm at the clinic working as a chiro, and I also work at the library. I probably do way too much. But it's more of a hobby. But I've been thinking a lot more about like, what do I want to do, especially as I get older. Like, what I want to build, spend less time working, more time living.
Yeah. So, with the little coaching you do, what are some of the difficulties you find with coaching?
I mean, there's always a lot of difficulties. One is like, you have to have like a balance for yourself on whenever you offer digital service, you need kind of guidelines on what you're offering, right? Because if you're just, hey, message me anytime, which is kind of like what I am, it's tough to kind of have those barriers between your own life and your work life. Because if coaching is your full-time thing, and a lot of full-time coaches will attest to this, they need systems, right?
Yeah.
You need your office hours, you need a way to kind of dichotomize your work, or else like it's very strenuous on your own personal life. But also just you're working with people, right? When I am a clinician, I'm working with patients. The hardest part is just trying to connect with the person in front of you, trying to make sure, explain things in a way where your stuff is not lost in translation, right? Trying to be, and also filtering out if the person you're coaching is actually fit to be with you as a coach. So,
yeah, seeing if they're going to take it seriously or not.
Yeah, or if
their personality is a fit for...
Exactly, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's many roads to Rome, and I think we see that. There's obviously common variables that you want for everyone in strength training and whatnot, but many ways to do it.
So outside of powerlifting, what other hobbies do you have? Because I find powerlifters always tend to either have like a lot of the same hobbies, or like you'll get somebody with like a super obscure one.
Well, I like obviously any other kind of activities like rock climbing and whatnot. I did a lot of that. I like music, so I self-taught piano. That's mostly what I play. I've played some guitar, some drums, but not really. So when I saw that at the hotel, I'm like, can we play this?
Can I?
You know, come to think of it, because like I'm self-coached, right? And I've been self-coached for probably like almost my entire career, and I find it's just a reflection of more so. I just like to learn stuff myself. You know, I taught myself piano. I'm doing all this and whatnot. So, and then I like drifting. So I got pretty deep into sim drifting. I'm currently trying to like upgrade my rig. And then the other part is when I went to Japan, I went to like the circuit and I did some car tours in Japan. Have you heard of Initial D?
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
So I rented a car as part of this package, and we went all around the mountains essentially in Akone, and that was great. Would recommend for sure.
Yeah, we're planning on going in a couple years, me and my girlfriend. So.
Do it.
So I
shouldn't pitch this too much because my eyes right now are on 2027 Japan Equipped Worlds.
Oh.
So that's what I want to do. But I feel like if I talk about it enough, everyone's going to want to do it, and then I'm going to have a really hard time going.
Getting in.
But you know, it's one of those places where like, even if I don't want to, like I'm not competing, I would still want to go. It's tough because I end up going to a lot of meets in my life in places I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to visit those places. I never thought I'd go to those places, but it's not a preferred place, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I went to Belarus, someone died.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know about that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I know TK said the same thing when he was on for his episode, and he goes, it's kind of a nice thing about the sport in a way, because it's a lot of places that you can now say that you've been to, that under any other circumstance you would never go there.
Yeah, I think now I'm almost like a little bit more picky in the sense of I actually kind of want to, I look at the international calendar and I look at the place, and if the place is somewhere I kind of want to go, it kind of makes more sense to try to go to that. But
and that's why, like I said earlier, when you asked me what was next on the horizon meat-wise, and I said about Easterns, but I'm not sure that I will do Easterns, is for that reason. It's not somewhere like I really want to, like I'm not in any rush to really go to New Brunswick.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Versus I'd rather wait for, like, my girlfriend's best friend is in Halifax, and like I've always really wanted to go to PEI, so like I'd much rather wait for Easterns to be in one of those two provinces to justify, again, because like we said earlier in the podcast, the cost of travel to just justify that.
It's not cheap, right? You go to what? Because you can also go to Centrals and Westerns too if you wanted to. So, I mean, there is more funding in the sport now, which is nice, especially for like the top level athletes, right? But it's still not cheap. Like you're not making any money out of this unless you're, you know, the creme de la creme, the top of the top. And it's tough because it's for my kind of like, I don't know how much I can talk about like my SPD Canada stuff, but the way it kind of works is it's all based on Classic. If you win Classic, you go to Worlds, and they can kind of comp some of your costs to Worlds and whatnot. So I feel like why wouldn't you go, right? In that case. But I think going back to kind of the motivations of just getting stronger and whatnot, I want nothing more than to go to the gym, train hard, and make progress and be able to just like feel stronger, be stronger, right? And that might never happen, but I have the belief that it can happen. versus going to an international competition, cutting down, and then replicating a performance that I've done, or maybe even less, versus spending time truly like getting stronger. That makes sense. So, but you never know what could happen.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
What is one of your powerlifting hot takes?
Ooh. I don't know if it's a hot take, but how things are not that deep. Like, in the world where you have, I think social media plays a role in this, but everyone is, you know, posting, high-end trading, all that stuff. It's like, it literally doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all that stuff is just, it's fluff. Maybe it drives engagement or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I didn't really think about this. I don't really think I have a lot of hot takes, but
they're not that deep one, I get, because like regardless of whether you post your top end squat, that is not going to change what.
yeah, and I think this isn't really a hot take, but when you look at a lot of elite athletes, you know, they're starting to dial in their nutrition now. They're starting to count their calories. They're starting to, you know, track their sleep and do all that. That is all good. Don't get me wrong. It's like the horse analogy again. You're betting more chips on that end, but it's not a guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could do all that and still not be at the top of your performance. And I find, like for myself, one thing I found that helped me a lot is when I get way too focused into powerlifting, like when I put all my eggs in that basket, it usually doesn't go too well because I push too hard and make poor decisions and whatnot. And I found the balance for me is kind of like stepping away from that a little bit. Hey, if you want to go rock climb, go rock climb. It's okay, you know. It's like, don't worry. Like if your bench day suffers a little bit, then like it's fine, you know. Focus on the long game. But obviously, if you're like 2 weeks out, or it's your heavy day tomorrow, I probably won't go, right?
Yeah.
So be more flexible with yourself in that way. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a hot take person, I guess. Maybe people have hot takes about my hot takes, so that makes me a hot take. I don't know.
You never know.
I have a hot dog.
Of 6 of them.
Yeah, my 6-pack.
If you could change a rule, like an IPF rule, or modify it, what would you change? And this is a really good one to ask now, especially after all the new rules being dropped.
Yes. I mean, any of the kind of obscure rules that are really hard to be judged. So
The imaginary deadlift line.
like bench depth and such like that, could probably go. Like, it could be redefined for sure. A lot of things could be redefined. I know people have talked about I think Ryan on King of the Lifts really wants the up and down movement to go away. I'm not too sold on that one, but clarity, I think, is what I'm more after. I don't think anything really needs to be like, this one has got to go and the sport would be so much better. I don't really see any of that, because the sport adapts. You could introduce any change and there's always going to be happy people and unhappy people, and then enough time goes by and it just becomes, it is what it is.
I mean, that's exactly what happened with bench sink. It was purely as a thing to counteract elbow depth.
Yeah. But I think there's two sides of the coin. It's like, I don't really care about the rule per se. I'm like, what is your intention with this rule? I think if that is more clear, it helps more. Mm-hmm. Because like in the sport of powerlifting, we want to be like the strongest we can be. So is their bench rules trying to get to the point where, hey, this is showing us the best strength in the upper body possible, right? but then the way to actually reflect that is very different by writing on the rules, and they don't do a very good job. I don't know if it's language barriers or whatever, but communicating them, I think, was the biggest thing when those rules dropped out, right? Because it's just like, hey, January 1st, peace out.
Here you go.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, and it is to a degree. It's all like, if the whole point of the sport is getting stronger, why are we putting in some of these rules that are like, if people are getting the big one that gets me is the knee sleeves. And I know all the knee sleeve stuff's being reviewed, and it's supposed to be reviewed again. Like, I think the next update's supposed to come out in August about it. But if it's all being, if the goal is to just get stronger, and people are getting stronger with these knee sleeves, wouldn't we want to keep it? Because I mean, and you look at the top end, because this is the argument people make about knee sleeves, and it's a valid argument to make. The top end of squat, like every squat record, is set not even in a stiff sleeve. Like, they're all set in SBD sleeves anyway.
Yeah.
But if it's just helping the middle ground get stronger.
I think there is definitely like a slippery slope, because if anything goes, then it's like, well, how do you police that, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's so much like no stiff sleeves or stiff sleeves. It's, you have to define it better. You have to define the parameters of your sport better, so that everyone can be on the same page. Like, otherwise, next thing you know, raw powerlifting just becomes equipped.
Yeah.
And for me, when I was younger, you know what I thought? I thought raw powerlifting should just be no knee sleeves, no belt, no nothing. That's how I did my meets, and honestly, I would love a division like that.
When I signed
absolutely nothing. I am the worst person to be sponsored because I was saying absolutely nothing.
When I signed up for my first meet, I almost signed up for equipped because I didn't know the difference, and that's what I thought raw meant. Is I thought raw meant nothing.
Yeah, nude division.
Not even a singlet.
Caveman style. You just wear your little diaper wrap. That's it.
Just the full like sumo wrappings.
Yeah. So,
So this is, I figured I'd run you up here. This is Signal Hill. Like, this is like the only St. John's landmark, really.
Oh wow. Oh, it's beautiful.
So you get a view of the city that way, and a view of the entire Atlantic Ocean this way. So if you look straight ahead, you can kind of see that lighthouse way out in the distance.
Yeah.
So that's Cape Spear. That is the most
Take a pic of this.
furthest eastern point in North America. You cannot go further east than that.
When was Nationals last year?
I'm not sure.
I think it was pretty recently. Yeah. Damn. That's the ocean.
That's the Atlantic.
Crazy.
And then behind us is the entire view of the city.
Yeah, St. John's is nice. It's a nice place.
Yeah, I figured I'd come up here since you said you've never been to St. John's. We can take a swing down around Kitty Bitty. And like I said, that's just a really nice, I don't know how nice it is now because of weather-wise, but the walk around Kitty Bitty Pond is just like a nice walk. If you're looking for something to do, we gotta get some steps in or something.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you can't really see it, but it's...
This is a nice video. Yeah, but rule-wise, I think I kind of agree with everyone where bench needs a bit more clarity. Because it's just tough. It's tough on everyone, right? Mm-hmm. It's tough on judges, it's tough on spectators, it's tough on the lifters.
Because how do you define upwards thrust and what's excessive upwards thrust? And
I think it's more, you can't look for everything. Like no. There is in that split second, and I can tell you as a ref, like, it's tough.
You can't check that and elbows.
You're already trying so hard to
commands.
stay focused. You see like thousands of lifts in front of you, right? So if you're doing like a really long event. So But I mean, that's the way the game is played, right? Sometimes you get penalties that are called to video review from hockey that are just bad. And sometimes you get stuff that are missed.
Yeah.
Same thing with powerlifting. There's nothing wrong with that. The biggest thing is consistency, so that you have a level playing field no matter who is there. So you could have whatever rule, but as long as it's consistent, then that's fine. But
because then as a spectator, if there's no consistency as a spectator or as someone who's new to the sport trying to understand the sport, it becomes more difficult to understand because it's, oh, this is not a good lift, but this one is. Why?
And then there's the jury overturns and stuff too.
Yeah. And then, but I mean, hey, that's just powerlifting because somehow as well, and I mean, I'm not throwing shade because he's also himself come out and said it, but like you got stuff like Keenan Lee's third deadlift at Sheffield, where he got 3 whites and
yes, that was
so soft in the knees.
You know, it did look better in some videos, but still, like, there's even he thought he didn't get it.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, I will say in terms of some of the new rules, some stuff that could be taken out. The whole necklace thing could probably be taken out. I just hate. I don't hate, but when people talk about like safety and stuff like that, they're doing it for the safety of the lifter and whatnot. I feel like they're just making up excuses for stuff that they want. Because safety is a whole can of worms. It's not, oh, you wear a necklace. It's like, show me the study where people that wear necklaces are, 10 times, increased risk of injury or something. So stuff like that, I think, could probably go away.
Yeah, safety is almost like a just blanket term that gets thrown out there.
Yeah, well, we gotta do for safety. No French low bar because we gotta do for safety,
And some rules I get safety-wise, but other rules my brain views it as if it's a safety issue, and you make the argument that it's a safety issue, but the only person being put at risk is the lifter, and the lifter is putting themselves at risk. Is it really your thing to worry about the safety at that point? And French low bar is a different one, because French low bar, it's unsafe for the spotters.
Yeah.
Because of the way the bar is held. That's going back onto your back spotter.
You know what the best rule for bench safety is? Make people put their safeties right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like...
yeah, I say and agree, as I'm somebody who always just goes into a meet. I'm like, what's the lowest height you're going to let me put these safeties at?
And don't get me wrong, like, it's fine, but then the 1% of the time, or 0.01% of the time, it's not great.
No, not at all.
So, yeah, like, I don't know how you could do that, but be like, I know for us as judges, if we know the safety's too low, we'll get them to raise it. And honestly, that's probably fine, but... pretty low-hanging fruit for people to put their safeties right.
Yeah. And this is Kitty Bitty.
So Kitty Bitty's a town or the lake?
It's the lake, and it at one point I think was a separate thing, but I think just over time it's been consumed and it's just part of St. John's now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is Kitty Bitty Lake. And like up here, you'll see what like a lot of people call Old Kitty Bitty, which is just really like because here is just like a lot of housing. But you'll see like the older buildings and like the brewery and stuff is out here. And it's one thing Newfoundland's a big fan of is their amount of craft breweries we have. Which, I mean, I'm not at all a craft beer person, so it's like, oh. Well.
Are you a Larry and Jeff beer person?
Larry and Jeff beer.
Did you see those?
Yeah. Yeah, we were looking at the cans earlier, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Their faces are literally on the side of the can.
See, that just goes back to like meat directors doing cool fun stuff, right? Like makes the event nice. I find when I talk to people that have been doing this like for a long time, like let's say you gotta drop out because of injury, or let's say you're not here this year, or whatever it is. It's very like, well, there's gonna be another one, so like it's all good,
Yeah.
Versus the person that you know, they've only been doing this for a while. They're like, oh no, you're not. Oh, sorry, or whatever. Or it's like, oh, I had such a bad performance. But you have a long enough timeline. It's a blip in the road.
Well, I mean, look at just how long open in itself is.
Yeah. I mean, open is technically forever. Well,
yeah.
You know.
But even just like the age class itself, it's opens a long time in its own. Like, if you're somebody who's like Rhea, where it's just like the run of the different age classes.
Yeah, the way I see it right now for myself, I see all these athletes that are, obviously there's young people just absolutely crushing it, right? There's the old people in their open prime years absolutely crushing it. But there's also people that are a lot older absolutely crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, if I can just keep doing this for the next few years, who knows where I'll end up?
Because I mean, again, like we said earlier, like look at Jeff.
Yeah.
Like Jeff is a monster.
Yeah. And hopefully...
And in that one Can PL picture they posted, he kind of looks like a monster. That blurry one from Worlds, where he's just... Worlds, or was it NAPFs?
Was it the most recent one?
I can't remember.
I think he just did Worlds before this.
It might have been. It's been since Forge came out, because I know he was in the orange singlet in the picture.
The orange. What's your favorite SBD collection?
I've been so I have right now I have the Forge belt, but the black and gray one.
Yes.
Because it's a really nice neutral belt that isn't the black SBD belt.
That's the one I use. Yeah.
Everyone has. Mm-hmm. So I have that in the 10 mil, but I've been a big fan of the Nova. So I'm kind of excited to see what Rhea and Ryan brought for the Nova line to.
I don't think Nova has the belt, but they have everything else.
I just like the glitch look of like the SBD logo on everything.
Yeah, I was considering retiring my belt because like I think I retired my first belt when I pulled the record in Belarus, but because I had to retire it because it was not an SBD belt and they came up with an SBD belt, so I had to wear SBD. And then I retired my second SBD belt, or my first SBD belt, sorry. It still said SBD apparel on it. The very early models of the belt said SBD apparel instead of powerlifting on the back. But now I'm rocking the gray and black one, the same as you. And I considered retiring it because I pulled the record in it. So, but I don't know. We'll see.
Was that the one you had in
Chengdu? Yeah.
In Chengdu?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
With the big long deadlift?
Yes. Do you know how it all went down?
No.
Okay.
So I just remember seeing like the videos of the...
Well, I mean, if I go back to World Games, because why not? Love to talk about World Games. The actual lead up to it, I remember 2 weeks out, I was like, all right, well, it's probably not gonna happen. Like, I'm not really feeling it. I'll just do the best that I can. And I just accepted going in and just having fun, enjoying the trip, right? And I had one session before my call with Garrett, and I actually felt good. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm fine. So on the call with Garrett, I basically told him, never mind, everything I said is fine, like, we're good. And he probably thought I was full of shit, because he's like, oh, it's Clifton. And then when we got there, I had given him my numbers, because he's like, hey, well, what's your game day plan? And I'm like, well, this is literally my thinking. I'm like, well, if I give Garrett low numbers, he's not gonna let me go up. But if I give Garrett high numbers, he'll let me go down. So I gave him like my best case scenario plus some cherries on the top. And then squat went well, 3 for 3. Bench went really good, 3 for 3. And then for pulls, we had our opener at 280. And for reference, the heaviest I pulled in training was 280.
So you were opening already at...
Yeah, but we bumped it up by 5 kilos. So, to take the lead from Jonathan Garcia. But then he also bumped 5 kilos. So that was nullified. So I hit 285, heavier than anything I've ever taken in training. And the 280 was absolute garbage. I think I failed it actually, now that I think about it. And I had, on the stream, they were talking about how smiley I am and whatnot. On the stream, you can see, because afterwards I asked Garrett, it's like, what do we need to take third? And he said, we need 20 kilos. And I'm like, you sure? He's like, 20 kilos, yeah. So I need a 305. Mm-hmm. And the camera pointed to me, and I didn't smile as much, because I'm like, fuck, I need 305? Because 285 did not feel good.
No.
It did not feel good. Like, it was fine, but it didn't feel good. And then, but when I went out for 305, it actually felt kind of better than 285. Like, it didn't hurt my back as much. I was like a little bit more tense. Obviously it was harder, it was 20 kilos more. And then after that, we had, the other competitors missed. So I had bronze locked up already. And that was the goal, get bronze. Mm-hmm. So then we're like, screw it, let's load 318 for the record.
Let's throw another 20 kilos on.
Yeah, and it came up because one of the things I told myself is that I'm gonna enjoy every moment of this platform. You know, I'm gonna take my time, and I knew this was my last 60 seconds up there essentially. Mm-hmm. So I went to go pull it, and then as soon as it broke the floor, it got stuck around my knees, and I just told myself, I'll just stay here for the whole fucking 60 seconds, whatever. And then it started moving a little bit. And then I'm like, wait, it's moving. And then all I said to myself was, don't go up and down, don't go up and down, don't go up and down. And then when I had kind of locked it out, I was like, oh, I think I have it. And then I locked it out even more. But by the time I did that, he already gave me the down command. And then I got it.
So how long did that feel to you? Because I know to everyone else it was 12 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
How long was it in Clifton's world?
So it felt like, honestly, it didn't feel long at all. But at the same time, it felt really long. Because when I went up to the bar and after I did it, all I thought about, because after when I was in the back, I was crying a little bit. I was crying a lot. After I went to the back, all I could think about, it wasn't even that like, oh, I did it or whatnot. All I could think about was all the sessions that you do, right? Every day where like it sucks and you're like, why are you doing this, right? That's what I thought about. It's like, oh, it amounts to something like this and something like this. And obviously it doesn't have to be like a record or anything. It could be doing your first meet or whatever, but it's that concept of delayed gratification, mm-hmm. right? You're doing all this for a reward that you cannot see, that you cannot fathom, that you don't even know exists, that might not exist.
Mm-hmm. You don't know if or when you will ever get it.
But then just having almost like that moment is it's like it's strong enough for you to keep going, mm-hmm. even through the shittiest stuff. And now, because I've had that moment, and I've had moments like that in the past, it's like I've almost come full circle of, you know, I was at the peak of my junior career, or so to call it, and then I basically disappeared from the sport for 4 years because car accidents and all that stuff. And I thought I was, you know, I didn't think I would lift anymore. And how quickly it goes from, maybe I'll lift, maybe I'll PR again, maybe I'll compete again. Now I want to go to Worlds again. Mm-hmm. like it just snowballs, right? So now coming back to there, it was honestly a Cinderella story for me, right? 5 weeks, not even, kind of like not a really good prep, and then you come up first time 9 for 9 PR on my lifts, like 27.5 kilo PR. It's like, why didn't you test me? Why didn't you test me?
Did you not get tested?
No. I remember screaming for my first test when I was a junior because I was like, I just wanted to get tested so bad. It was like a rite of passage, right?
And it's funny, is like I've mentioned it before, I've said it to like family and stuff. They're like, God, it must be like being at a local meet and like parents will ask, they're like, oh, what's going on there? And I'm like, oh, this person's getting drug tests. And they're like, God, that must like suck. And I'm like, no, that's what we all want.
Yeah.
We all want to be strong enough that people doubt we're that strong.
yeah, and there's lots of different reasons to be tested. I got my first test because when you break an IPF record, you get tested. Was how it was before. I think it still is like that.
I was gonna say, if it's not like that, in all honesty, it should be.
Yeah, but at World Games, I think they had already decided who they're gonna test. Rhea actually got tested, and she was the last session. So they almost didn't even make it to the closing ceremony. It was very stressful.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And her lifting was very stressful. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She bombed out and then came back to life. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely never take that moment for granted. It was kind of cool. It was kind of cool having a little bit of celebrity status. Because we'd walk around and people would look at us and be like, oh, is that the person? And then they want like photos and autographs and stuff. Because they saw us with our like athlete.
With the medals.
Yeah. Or with our athlete tags or so.
Right, yeah, because you guys had...
Yeah. I actually went to go pee. And then when I went to go pee, this guy inside was like, oh, can I have a photo? Like mid-pee. So I was like, can I have a photo? And I'm like,
Can I finish?
yeah, let me, like he was peeing. And I'm like, let me go pee first. And I go outside, I take a photo of him. And then there's like a lineup of some other people taking a photo. I'm like, man, this must be how all these other people feel all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I've always had some achievement in the sport and whatnot, but I feel relatively, I don't know, people say a lot of people say they know me, or people talk about me, or like I had some friends go to Vietnam and they went to the gym there, and the person was like, yo, these people know you. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I was at this powerlifting gym and they call you the foe. It's funny, because when I set the record in Belarus the first time, I got a bunch of Vietnamese people in my DMs and adding me Facebook because my last name's Pho. Like, I'm not Vietnamese, but I think they think I'm Vietnamese. So.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. I also got sent an unsolicited dick pic. I kid you not. I was sitting in Dublin. This is 2017. And I got this DM from this Russian dude. It was just a dick pic. I was like, oh, what the heck?
No thanks.
But I'm definitely not on like the caliber of all those people going to Sheffield, like influencers driving the sport and whatnot. But I can only imagine how crazy that would be.
Getting stopped all the time.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm sure you've seen pictures of like the Sheffield meet and greet. And
oh yeah,
what the lines were like there.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think Sheffield would be like, it's kind of, it's like one of the only things that I haven't really done that I want to go to, but it's such, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's very tough. And I feel like the only way for me to even have a shot at that, like let's say there's a year where, I don't know, not a lot of people that are there, you still need to total 95% of the world record.
Yeah.
And like, I don't see myself doing that unless I end up being like a Chell or a Joe Jordan that, trains at 72, 73 kilos, 74 kilos, total like that much at 74, and then cut down and try to do it at 66.
Yeah. And when you're cutting that much too, when you're talking like cutting a significant chunk of body weight, because like cutting 6 kilos at that body weight versus cutting 6 kilos at like my body weight are two very, very different things.
Yeah. I've always been fine and good with cutting. I've always been like on the lighter end, so I definitely have some room to grow and gain. But this is really stupid. But when I'm heavy, I've never had a session where I was heavy and I felt good or performed good, which is like completely backwards to Isaac Newton's physics and principles.
Yeah.
Because mass moves mass, but not for me. I don't know. It should. I'm just gonna give it more time, I think.
Let it do its thing.
Yeah. It's just frustrating. Like I already know, I don't have, I'm basically a one lift wonder, right? I need to get my other lifts up. but it hurts more when my bench already needs a lot of work, but it hurts more when I'm like 10 pounds more and 10 kilos weaker.
Yeah, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
I hear you on the needing to pull the bench together part.
Yeah, but it's something to work on, right? Sometimes you get a bit frustrated with stuff, but then I think you just go back to drawing board and it's like, well, this is a sport, right? This is what you need to work on. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Everyone would just be PRing all the time. I remember having to tell one of my athletes, this is way back. Well, he wasn't my athlete, but I was helping him out, and he told me, "Clifton, it feels heavy." And I looked at him and I'm like, "You're powerlifting. It's supposed to be heavy."
Yeah. You're not competing with light weights.
Yeah, you're not in the sport of not lifting heavy.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing is, you gotta lift heavy. You gotta be good with like these heavy weights because that's what everybody is doing. And if you want to be good, you want to be competitive. You just gotta lift heavy. I think that's the thing, like, rubbed a lot of people the wrong way when they moved the nationals qualifiers. Is there were a handful of people that were like, oh, well, this just got, like, unobtainable. And it's not that it should feel unobtainable, but, like, nationals is nationals. It shouldn't be something you just walk into.
It also depends on your timeline, right? Like,
yeah.
Man, it might be unattainable. Like, you don't know, right? Like, I didn't know my performance would be how it was at the World Games. I just gave it a shot, which is why I think it's so hard for me right now to commit to dropping out, because I don't know, and I feel like I'm shooting myself in the foot. But at the same time, it's like, it's also okay that I know there's another meet. I know where my goals lie right now, right? Because quite honestly, I don't really want to go to Dubai, and I know even if I don't know, let's say I could go back in time and do the whole shebang, and if I end up getting a chance to go, I know I would go because, like, you know, part of it's comped and whatnot, but I'd rather not. But that being said, with what you were saying with the you know, unobtainable and so on, I think it really depends on why people are doing the sport. And I think a lot of people don't know why, which is fine, because that why can change, right? But if you did the sport and you just wanted to do provincials, do nationals, and that was it, you just wanted to say you went to nationals, or you just wanted to get, you know, whatever medal to help your coaching business, like all that is fine, you know. There's no shame in that. Like, I think a lot of early Alberta powerlifting type of coaches sphere, they would do the shebang, and then now they're not in the sport and they have their own like coaching biz and whatnot, and that's fine, you know. But you gotta be realistic with yourself. If that's what you want to do, and now, you know, because it's unobtainable and you don't want to do it anymore, then that's fine. There's just like, the bar will always be there, the weights will always be there. If you want to come back later, you can come back later. But there's almost like this pressure for a lot of people to be dishonest with what they want, and that might be a reflection of more they're just confused at what they want.
And if your why is to just get stronger, I mean, really, qualifying totals being moved shouldn't really make a difference.
Yeah, I can tell you, I did not sign up for my first meet going like, I'm gonna go to Worlds, I'm gonna break the record, I'm gonna do this. At my first meet, we were all up against this guy called Mark Not Set, because there was no records. Yeah, like I didn't go through with all that, you know, long-term stuff. It just kind of built as it went. Oh, friends doing meet, I'll do it. Oh, we're doing provs? Yeah, I want to do provs. I think it'd be cool to do nationals. Yeah. And oh, Worlds? Yeah. And it's very different back then. And I'll be honest, I'm of a self-deprecating nature a lot. So I kind of put a lot of my performances down. I kind of put a lot of my achievements down. You know, I'm my own worst critic. And if I could tell my fellow junior self, hey, you know, enjoy the moments a little more. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, don't just, what's next? I remember you guys were talking about it. It's like, you squat 500 pounds and then now you're already looking at 600.
Yeah.
And you're not even like taking the time to be like, hey, no, you squatted 500 pounds. Like,
You just give yourself the moment to
right?
like realize that you did what you did.
Yeah.
And appreciate you did what you did. Because that's the thing. Like, and again, me and Lucas said in the episode, there's no, like, in a sport that says go, go, go is powerlifting. Like, I mean, you think about it, we train all this time for 9 minutes. Like, everything we do in the run of a year, when you're going, say, a nationals and your plan is your next nationals, everything you've done in that run in a year is summed up in 9 minutes. So people don't take the time to like look back at what they've done over the months that led up to those 9 minutes.
You know what I see in the people that have been in the sport for 20 years, 30 years, whatever, like a really long time? They have their 9 minutes, but then they have the whole rest of the week with everyone else that they've met over the years.
Yeah.
Right? And it's almost like one of my most favorite things is I'll wake up, I'll go downstairs to the lobby or whatever, and I can't wait to see who else is there.
Yeah.
Right? Have breakfast, chat, and I never want that to end. I remember at World Games, it was like one of our last times. I was like, man, I didn't want it to end. On the vlog, it was like, that you watched, like, me and Lucas were walking around. We were going for a hot pot, right? We were like really sad that it was almost over, but
yeah,
that's what makes it.
Man, I am my own pit crew when it comes to this podcast.
We're back.
One red light, change out the battery, get everything else set back up and ready to go again.
All you need. Yeah. What were we talking about?
That's a wonderful question, dude. I am so scatterbrained all the time.
That's okay. That's okay. Hopefully people still get something out of this. I don't know.
Hopefully it makes a little bit of sense where we're picking back up.
Yeah.
We're almost back there now anyway. So yeah, do you have any questions, anything you want to say before we clue up? Any stories you didn't get to tell? Any?
I mean, there's always stories, and I feel like I always say the same stories over and over again, but not really. I mean, this was cool.
Anything you want to tease about what your week's looking like, even though by the time this episode comes out, Nationals is already over?
I mean, I am lucky enough to be a Team Alberta coach for the team, so I'll be busy with most of that. I will maybe do Equipped on Friday. The plan right now, because I have athletes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Since I don't have athletes on Friday, I'll weigh in, and then if I decide to compete, if I feel okay, I'll do it. And that's really just to keep the door open if I want to do like Commonwealths or NAPFs or something like that.
Just give yourself the chance.
Yeah, like I feel like after last year, I kind of mentally was like, I don't really want to do international travel this year for powerlifting. But then I saw Winnipeg was Commonwealths.
And then NAPF, so this is back here.
Yeah. But otherwise, goal always stays the same. Get stronger. And yeah, hopefully set some PRs. Maybe one day make it to Sheffield. Make it to World Games.
Win both.
Take some records. Yeah, that's cool. But
so you have a stop sign, say there. And we're back again.
yeah.
I don't know if it's free parking here all week or like what the plan is, because like where I'm spotting and loading so many sessions, I kind of don't want to have to pay for parking every single day, because that's going to get pricey.
Did you get any questions from that Instagram thing, by the way?
Just a couple about equipped lifting,
Ah.
which we touched on, and a couple of them I had planned to touch on anyway. Because yeah, it's not very often I get to have a guest on with equipped history, because equipped isn't a huge...
I'm probably still a huge baby when it comes to equipped. Like, I do not have the depth that someone like Tom Keane or Rhea does, but I don't know. I think it's always good to chat about that stuff. And I think if there is definitely a resurgence that we're seeing.
Yeah,
You know,
it does seem
people-
like more people are picking it up.
Yeah, more people into it. It definitely is like a higher entry because like you need the suits, you need someone to help you out. You don't always need someone to help you out, but it's cool to see.
But yeah, anyway, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no
Great
problem.
having you on.
for
Best of
having me.
luck.
Yeah.
And enjoy the rest of the time you're here.
You too.